Bro, I just had the hugest mindset shift ever. What the fuck, man? What the hell? Like, how I see things, how I see business, it's like it crumbled in my head. Because every time I would think, okay, I need to know how to do the ads, I need to know how to do the sales, need to know how to do everything. But then I see what these companies do, like these big companies. Like, think about this. I think most of them, they're good at business, meaning that they understand what it takes to grow a company. They look at the metric, they look at the data, they look at what is going wrong. Is it the marketing side? Is it the sales side? And I feel like when it comes to being a business owner, it's more about how you think about problem solving more than you knowing each literally like every single little thing in a lot of detail. Like, for example, I'm now working. I'm doing now a trial for a sales position, and I'm now working with this company, and they basically do they are the middle person from finding a good media buyer to getting that to getting people that big companies that are looking for a great media buyer. And then I just thought, why do I need to know everything? And then what he was saying in his message is that people like media buyers are lazy or they're not very good with metrics. And I kind of resonated with that because I kind of been doing my media buying for my clients, and I'm managing these accounts. And am I doing the best job that I can? No, because I am having to fill out all these hats. I'm having to do the sales, I'm having to do the service delivery, I'm having to do that. And then it's also about like the standards, because right now I have a VA, right? But I'm thinking, like, because it's my first VA, I'm thinking, is this like, are they better VAs? Because I've never hired any other VA. And what does a great VA actually look like? I don't really know. But I know that she's not the best, right? But what is a really great VA with a lot of experience? Obviously, that comes at a cost because it's expensive to hire a really great VA, I guess, right? So, but I'm guessing, like, how much relief would I feel by having such a fucking great VA, and how much more money would I make if I had a really great VA? Much money would I make if I had a really great media buyer? How much money would I make if I had a really great salesperson? And there's these recruitment agencies that they even save you time, because you don't really have the skill when you're starting out. You don't really have the skill of like recruiting, finding the right people for the right jobs, because you don't really know what a great salesperson looks like. You don't really know what a really great VA looks like. You don't really know what great and excellent looks like, because if you did, then you'd be like, oh, I had this amazing A player with me, and this one does not look like that. So your standards automatically go higher. I'm guessing it's kind of like dating as well, because if you date someone that's like one, like, excellent, and then you get someone with like average and treats you like crap, you're like, no, hold on, no, I've experienced that. I don't want you. Like, I want someone that actually does something similar like them, treats me like them, like the person that I had before. So it's these standards that you have because they're built on what you experienced before. Because if your standard is already super high, dude, it can't be knocked down. You're not going to hire anyone, and you're not going to put up with anything else other than excellent, right? So that's the same thing. Once you see what a great sales rep looks like, you don't want anything else. So that's like the mindset shift, the paradigm shift that I'm having, which is like, if I want to grow, like, I can't be afraid to invest on like top talent. And I know that they keep saying all of this, but you don't actually know what that looks like until you actually experience that. And that's the thing that is kind of shifting my beliefs. They all talk about A players, but there's two things. First of all, probably can't afford one, and two, you also don't really know what that looks like either. So it's like, okay, if I want to become better at business or etc., I need to think about in business in general. And I feel like until this point, I never really thought about things as a business owner, meaning that I'm looking at the metrics, because a business owner's task literally just looking at the metrics, looking where the bottleneck is. Let's say the bottleneck is marketing, right? Okay, are you the best marketer? If you're not the best marketer, and I guess like the things that you are supposed to know as a business owner is really the top things, which is, how can I become a better marketer? Because you know about what you're selling, and you need to think about the different ways where you can position it, and that's not something you can outsource. So you really need to master marketing and sales, and I feel like everything else, except I guess hiring talent, which is also something really important. Those really important things you need to kind of maybe not really master, but at least have an idea on how these things work. So if you are hiring someone that is more analytical to look at your media at account, you at least know, like, okay, we probably need to do the change the offer, we probably need to do this, need to do that. You know, the strategy side. I think that's the whole thing, which is like, as a business owner, you need to know things to the point where you know the strategy and you know what it takes to work and what is required to win. So you need to know the strategy. But then in terms of implementation, in terms of like these nitty gritties and analytical things, you don't need to do that yourself. Like, for example, I need to know the strategy and what actually gets an ad account to work for my clients, for example. But I don't need to do the media by myself. I need to know, okay, I need to be able to look at it in like analytical side and in problem solving hat. Like, okay, this is not working. What can we change? What can we do better? And so it's more, I feel like now it's kind of shifting my beliefs where a business owner is just the strategy master. And for that, obviously, you need to know the fundamentals. But you're the strategy and thinking and the problem solving. And then everyone else is just implementing on your strategy. So if something is not working, you just need to look at it that, okay, the show rate is not great. What are the 5, 10, 15, 20 things that we can do to solve this show rate problem? And then, you know, maybe as a founder, or maybe you just take someone else to do research on what are the 5, 10, 15, 20 solutions that we can do to improve the show rate. So I remember when I had this issue with the show rate. That's literally what I did. I just went to YouTube, watched a bunch of videos, saw what they were suggesting it, and then I just did that. And then my show rate went from like, I don't know, 40% to up to like 70%, 60%. And it's like, I compared to everyone else, and my show rate is way better. Then you have an issue, which is like, okay, what's the bottleneck now? Okay, we're not able to convert the leads to appointments. Okay, but what is usually the criteria? What do we need to usually do? What is the thinking behind to basically improve the leads to appointment conversion rate? So then you look at the leads, you look at the appointments. Okay, these are the 5, 10, 15 solutions that we can do to fix the leads to appointment ratio. Let's hire appointment setter. Okay, let's see if that works. And hire a really good appointment setter. Okay, that wasn't it. And then you try a different thing. And then you just focus on a bottleneck. And until you solve that freaking bottleneck, you put all of your energy, all your attention thinking about all the different solutions. And you don't have to do it yourself. I feel like, for example, for me specifically, like, I have this problem solving thing of like, I can just see things and identify the issues and the solutions and make a plan out of it. But what I'm not, I guess, not great at is like, sometimes I have so many things that I had to do. It's like, first of all, the priority into the implementation. But if I have someone else that is doing these things and I have the strategy, I have the planning, I have the thinking, it becomes way easier. And then it's just hiring the top talent that not only fits the culture, meaning that they are super incentivized and they like your mission, they're willing to do whatever it takes to grow the company, but it also has the skill set in order to make it happen. Not only that, but also being really coachable, and that here's your feedback, like matches with you on a good vibe and everything. So, whoa, them. And one thing that it kind of broke my belief is that there is so much money out there in terms of like the online space. It's like I was in this freaking bubble, but now it's like burst. It's like, whoa, there's so much possibility. There's so many like different routes in businesses that you can take, not just the SMMA and ecom, but there's so many different things that you can do, which is freaking crazy to me. But yeah, that's just a little rant here.